Blue 22.
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bry Man.
Yes, welcome back. This is Sports and Sorts, and this is episode 214, and I am one of your hosts. My name is Shane.
I'm the Brian Man. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. We are here to talk about some NFL, our NFL picks for the week. I gave you a pick on Monday, and you gave me a pick on Monday to go for this weekend, and we also have our game of the week, which we will talk about as well. Also happens to be Sunday night football. We will also be getting a little bit into some World Series action here. We'll talk about a little bit of a thumping. I think I posted in the title of the show, thumping by the Nats over the Astros so far.
So far, so good.
And now the Nats are going home, I think, right? I mean,
they are going home.
On?
Yep, so, Game 3 is tonight.
Things aren't looking so good for the Astros, but crazier things have happened. As a Yankee fan, we know.
Well, we've seen a Yankee team beat down 0-2 in the World Series and go on to win 4 straight.
Yes.
Not even have to force a Game 7.
And we've also seen the Yankees have 3 games up on somebody in the playoffs and end up getting beat. So, unfortunately, crazy things can happen in October. It is awesome to watch, but sometimes you're on the wrong side. So, we'll see how this all plays out. I'm excited to see, Greinke, see if he can actually step up in the playoffs. He's going against Sanchez, right? Anibal Sanchez?
Yes. Yeah. Kind of weird, huh? That Corbin is not the Game 3 starter, but I guess that sort of tells you a little what they think about it. But listen, I like Anibal Sanchez, and but I don't know. That's weird to me. I mean, you spent $40 million on that guy, and he's not starting your Game 3 game at home in front of your fans.
So weird.
It's a little weird, but you know what? At the same time, they're up 2-0. They're playing with house money.
Yeah. So
you've got to feel, and you've beaten their 2 best pitchers in their park.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're a Nationals fan, and I'm sure if you're a Nationals fan, you're freaked out. But for fans like you and me who are on the outside looking in, we've got to be like, this is a team of destiny. I mean, I don't know what else you could possibly think.
It has been very.
They went into their park and buried that team in front of their fans.
Yeah.
Destroyed them.
Yeah.
They beat Garrett Cole, a guy who's going to maybe get $35 to $40 million a year after this season is over for 7 years. And then they just rocked Verlander and company.
I have said on occasions, I think that Verlander's beatable. And, particularly as a Yankee fan, like when we were watching and we took it to him. And that is something that kind of just went into, it's been doing the whole playoffs. He hasn't been quite as sharp. He's got a lot of innings under his belt. And you know what?
His World Series numbers are his World Series numbers career are ugly.
I'm sure. Well,
no, they're bad.
That really bad one with Detroit.
Well, they're really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I want to see is he 0-5 or something like that? It's not good. No. With a kind of an ugly ERA. I mean, the rest of his postseasons is good.
Yeah.
Not
and he's great, but good.
Yeah, but he's, I don't know, man. All of a sudden, I don't know. Listen, the Nationals, again, I don't know how else you can say it. They look like a team of destiny. And I hope they win.
Yeah.
There are 3 particular reasons I would like to see them win. I would actually even say 4. And they're all centered just around certain individuals. Listen, you love to see great players win championships, right? I mean, it's the whole, like Alex Ovechkin thing in Washington. You like to see great players win titles. For me, I really want to see Mad Max get a ring. I really want to see Strasburg get a ring. I really want to see Howie Kendrick get a ring. And, of course, last but not least, how could you not want Ryan Zimmerman to get a championship? He has been the face of that team from the beginning.
For a long time, yeah.
He hit their first home run. He hit their first postseason home run. He hit their first World Series home run.
Too, in his life, yeah.
He's an unbelievable. Yeah, and
he's reinvented himself.
He has, and he seems to be a very likable guy.
Yeah.
Plays a solid first base. I mean, there's other guys. Listen, Rendon, Soto. I mean, who doesn't want to see the childish Bambino get a ring early on? I mean, they're a fun team. They're a fun team to watch. And right now they are absolutely taking it to them. But here's the one warning I would give. Don't take your foot off the pedal. Yeah. Not with this team. This team is a World Series champion, man. Never, ever, ever underestimate the heart of a champion. That's all I will say. Just be careful. You're up big, and you've got this series set up exactly the way you want it. But whatever you do, don't let it get back to Houston. Yeah. That's all I would say. Don't let it get back there. Finish the job in D.C.
And one thing I want to talk about real quick. You might notice that this show isn't on when it's normally out. We usually go on at 10-ish. That's usually anywhere from 9:45 to 10:45. It can get some bad sometimes.
Listen, we have a range, okay?
Yeah, yes, it's a range. It's 10-ish. Today, it happened to start at 8:10. And you know what? That's because I'm going away with the wife for a little bit. We're going to be heading out to an overnight to the Norriton and Spa, and then,
and then who knows where it goes after that?
And have a good night. And then we're going to go from there to the next day. We have soccer all weekend, so like it's we don't really have the opportunity to kind of do it tomorrow either. So we are going to we're squeezing it in early. So that's why.
That's what she said.
If you want to, hit that subscriber button, and you can click that notification bell, and you will be notified whenever we go live. So if you missed the show, you'll know, and you can just click on the link, and it'll take you right to it. All right. So now that we've done that, is there anything else that you wanted to kind of touch on with the World Series? I mean, it's a fun series to watch if you're not an Astros fan.
If you're rooting against the Astros, it's a really fun series to watch. I'm enjoying it because I don't want them to win another one.
Yeah, I mean they have one. There's some, I don't know. There's a couple of players on their team that obviously don't. I mean, Greinke.
Listen, I love Springer. I mean, outside of that, and I used to
UConn ties.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. It's all about that. And listen, I mean, they have a great manager. I hate Altuve, but obviously you have to respect him.
Why do you hate him?
Oh, I just can't stand him. He just looks like an arrogant little shit. But sorry, I just don't like him. And listen, it's just one of those guys. You like some guys, you don't like guys. I look at Altuve, I just don't like him. I don't like him. There's just something about him. It's like that. It was like that whole I don't know that I have a great reason. I respect his game tremendously. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. He's absolutely outrageously clutch. I don't know. He's just one of those guys I don't like, though. But unlike the Astros, I mean, I love Springer. I really love Correa. But you know what? They had their moment. I hope the Nats get there. I hope the Nats get
real quick. I want to ask you a question. What was your reaction to after Altuve hit the home run and Sanchez on the mound?
Oh, Chapman, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, the smiling?
Sanchez. I said Sanchez. I was thinking about Anibal Sanchez.
All right.
So, yeah.
So my very initial reaction, because you're stunned and in shock in the moment, right? And I was like, is that mother smiling? And then afterwards, I was like, you know what? He was in shock. I mean, he was in shock, and that was the only way he knew how to react. Like, he couldn't believe
what just happened.
He had given up that home run, and that happened in that moment. I don't know, I'm not going to hold it against him.
All right.
If you want to hold something against Aroldis Chapman, you could say, well, he's had some very shaky World Series moment, or ALCS and World Series moments.
Yeah. He's definitely not as dominant as he used to be, but he's still really good. He used to come in and just mow people down when he was on, and occasionally you get wild and walk some people. And
so here's what I'll tell you. If he decided to opt out, and I do not believe he will, I believe he'll be a Yankee next year. But if he decided to opt out, I wouldn't be heartbroken.
Yeah. Because
I would love for them to bring Betances back and let him close. I'd be okay with that, and let Britton set him up. Be fine by me.
Cool.
Or what I really think they need to do, though, is I would also like them to – I want them to bring Betances back either way, though. Because I know he's a little older now, though, too, but that guy's got great stuff. When he's on, he's unhittable. Yeah, we are. We are.
He is. He's getting up there in age, though, too. I mean, he's
not
a young chicken anymore.
I will tell you real quick on the Yankees yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but Brian Cashman had his, post-season
no regrets.
Interview.
Regrets.
Yeah. No regrets. Not even one, huh? Not one?
No regrets.
Not even one? Not one letter.
The process serves him well.
Not one letter, huh? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, and I don't want to get into the details of that press conference because we have a lot of other stuff to talk about, but I will tell you this. My tip of the hat to Sweeney Murdy, who went after him hard, And I am really happy that he did. Listen, Cashman's a pro. He had his answers ready. He knew what he was going to say, and he fired right back.
Yeah.
But you know what? Good on Sweeney Murdy for going at and not kissing that guy's ass, going right after him, and basically saying, you lost out in the pursuit of this guy, and this guy. And again, Cashman had all his answers because Cashman's always ready for that stuff. He knows what's coming. Yeah. But good on Sweeney Murdy, and I'm glad they went after him. And I hope maybe they sent a little bit of a message to Hal Steinbrenner. Because ultimately, let's be honest, none of this comes down to Cashman. Cashman does what he's told because, if Hal Steinbrenner says to Brian Cashman, Brian, you do whatever it takes to get Garrett Cole. I don't care. You could offer him. We'll offer him $300 million over 7 years. Do whatever it takes. Well, Brian Cashman will do that.
Right.
Brian Cashman's not in charge of the money.
Right.
Your bigger beef is with Hal, but here's the problem with being Brian Cashman. You're the spokesperson for Hal. Because the owners don't grant many interviews. That's the beauty of owning a team.
Yeah, they can hide behind their pearly desks.
Hopefully the Yankees learned a lesson, though, this offseason. I don't think they did. I still think they're going to stick to the plan that they've employed these past few years, which is to be a little more
financially
tight. Fiscally responsible, I'm sure is the way they put it. But that's not how we as fans put it. We look at you and we're like, well, you're spending $220 million, but we also think you're cheap.
Yeah.
So
and I guess the one thing that I would say about Brian Cashman and all that is that it's not that I'm disappointed in him. I am disappointed in the Yankees in general with their hiring of their leadership below him. With Aaron Rodgers. Now I got football in the brain. Aaron Boone. Oh, come here. I gotta hold on. Thank you, sweetheart. Have a great day at school.
Bye, Isla.
Brian said bye.
She's so cute. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, she's the cutest. She's got a huge bow in her hair today. It's basically the size of her head. She's rocking it.
She got like a Cindy Lou Who kind of look going on.
Yeah, it's big on her head. She's rocking it. So anyway, with Aaron Boone as their manager and Larry Rothschild as their pitching coach, I really wish they would shake it up there and do something different. I really think that Aaron Boone is not a day-to-day guy. At best, he's a bench coach. He's just not that kind of guy. He will go to he will go to war for your team. Yeah. But I just don't think he's good on the day-to-day managing ins and outs of the game. It's bit us way too many times, and that's just in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think it really reared its ugly head this postseason.
He
really got outmanaged.
It did
badly.
By the way, a couple of other quick notes. So Joe Girardi is going to be the Phillies manager.
Yeah.
Good for him. Shocked because I absolutely thought he was going to be the Cubs manager.
Me too.
I thought that was a fait accompli, but I guess not.
Yeah. Looks like going after another catcher.
Now, so they're David Ross, right, is going to be there, and that's kind of interesting because when he was a player with the Cubs when they won in 2017, he was almost like Madden's bench coach, kind of.
Yeah.
In a way. Mm-hmm. So good for him. He's the right guy for the job. What I think is going to be fascinating is the Mets, because the Mets are just such a hot mess in almost every way. And they are even approaching this managerial thing in the way you would expect a hot mess team to. Some of the people being rumored for this job.
They set up a kiosk at JCPenney's.
They might as well have. Listen, so one of the names I'm sure you've heard floated out there is Jessica Mendoza, who, sits alongside Alex Rodriguez and Matt Vasgersian in the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
She knows baseball.
Booth.
She's smart.
She does. It's kind of like Boone. Mm-hmm. But, and I have
a better personality than Boone, though.
And I think it would be interesting also.
Anyway.
If you were the Mets and you wanted to make a bombshell of a hire, put the first female head coach in sports, in that pro sport. In New York. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. But you know what? If you're the Mets, though,
Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
That would be a fascinating move, and it would be the most talked about thing. Oh my God, it'd be one of the biggest sports stories ever.
Oh, yeah.
Because she would be in the four major sports, she'd be the first head coach / manager.
Mm-hmm.
I think the person who's going to break that barrier is the Spurs assistant coach Becky Hammond.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be the one, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And I think she's, and a Greg Popovich, who's such a great coach, he's put her in a position to be able to make that leap, and I do think she would. And if Pop decides to retire and they decided to promote her, I'd be all for that. She's awesome. But I would look at Jessica Mendoza the same way I looked at Boone and be like, okay. I mean, the only difference is Boone at least played the game, grew up around baseball his whole life. So by osmosis, there's a lot there. Jessica Mendoza doesn't have that history.
Well, she does. I mean, in softball, she does. I mean,
sure. But you're talking about being around the game.
Gold medalist, right?
Multi-gold
medalist.
Being around the game of Major League Baseball, though, so different. Being inside those locker rooms, it's just a different.
The problem is it's such a. I don't want to call it a boys' club, but it is.
Oh no, it is.
It's gonna be rough on whatever woman decides to take on that role.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really tough on them. Not only. It's gonna be tough on them in all aspects.
It would
mentally, physically, just everything across the board. On top of still trying to manage.
Think of actually just the logistics of the locker room. Is she going to be in the locker room where all these guys are naked and getting dressed? And I mean, it's weird, right?
It is, but it's at the same time you're like, if you're going to be one of the guys, you have to kind of.
I'm all for that. I mean, I'm all for it as a.
I mean, I guess they could make it more professional and just keep an office for her, and then they can come in when.
Yeah, I suppose.
And she'll have her own bathroom and stuff like that.
I'll say this: if the Mets wanted to make a big splash and really own the back pages of New York and also kind of own the national media attention for a while, that's a hell of a move.
Yeah,
but if you really,
they do have a decent enough team to actually get you some wins. So,
but here's
it could be a huge success story.
And that actually is the reason why I would not hire somebody like her, because to me, they're actually not that far off. That they need to fix their bullpen, and they need a couple of more bats in the lineup. Their rotation is good. If you could actually bring Wheeler back, which I don't think they will, but if they could,
even if they don't,
DeGrom, you still got DeGrom, you still got Syndergaard, and you got Matz.
Yeah, Matz.
I mean,
Matz is good. I mean, he pitched to a 4 ERA this year, and
they'd be okay.
He got a lot of wins.
They'd be okay. But if I were the Mets, I would have been running for Buck Showalter. I would have been running to his house.
Yeah,
and said, "This is your team if you want it."
Then you hire Mendoza after that, and she can take him to the World Series.
Oh my God, that's funny. Poor Buck.
That's happened too many times.
I would, you know what? And I've never been one of those Yankee fans who gets mad at the Mets or hates the Mets. I don't care. The Mets don't bother me at all. In fact, when I go there, I root for the Mets. I actually have I have some Mets gear. I'll wear it to a Mets game. I don't care. I love their stadium. It's one of the best in baseball.
It's our little brother, and when we go against them in the World Series, we just put their head in the sand a little bit.
Right. We'll step on them in the World Series.
Okay, I know you're trying to hang with us, but here, boom.
Right. It's not like the Red Sox where there's just complete and total vitriol and we hate them and they're our rivals. This is, yes, they are our little across town brothers who we kind of sort of feel bad for and might root for most of the time until we play them that we want to kill them. But other than that, we like them. Yeah. I mean, the Mets had an opportunity this offseason to really make a statement. Brody Van Wagenen had a chance right off the bat, and maybe they still will hire Showalter. You never know. I also wouldn't mind them hiring Carlos Beltran. I think that would be a good move for them. That's a guy who I think could be like a Boone, who's played the game, been around the game, also young.
Love to have Beltran as our head coach.
So would I.
Last year, when they were trying to look for somebody.
He was interviewed.
Yeah. He's such a smart guy. He is.
Believe me, I wish they
a great. And not only would he, because they talk about having not only the respect of the players because you played the game, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh God, yeah. Oh no, I wish they had hired him. I wish they hired him.
And not only is he a Hall of Famer, because he was a very talented player, but he wasn't only talented physically, he was also one of the most mentally strong players in the game. And that's something that, unlike where you had like A-Rod, who got pinched for, steroids a bunch of times, who we know knows the game very well. Yeah. He got pinched for steroids, so you never really know what his true numbers are. But you have Beltran, who on the other hand he was great throughout his whole career.
He was.
And he was so incredibly smart and was always tutoring like younger players on the team, whatever team he went to. And now he's like a right-hand man in the Yankees office.
He is,
and he is out there and he is
part of their scouting.
Yeah, he's part of their scouting. And he is such a smart dude.
And very, very quickly
to circle. Best, but I don't want him to bite us in the butt either.
So real quick too, just kind of circling back to the Yankees. Speaking of guys that I do not want biting us in the rear. If I'm the Yankees, there's a couple of, and Cashman actually did allude to this yesterday without saying anything. I think out of respect for the dead, because there's going to be some people who are going to lose their jobs, and it starts with this Yankee training staff. They need to, obviously that was a humongous problem all year. It was the biggest problem in baseball history in terms of injuries to a team. 30 plus guys on the injured list all throughout the year. Just unbelievably awful. So they're going to make some changes there. The other thing I really would like to happen, and again, I have no confidence that this is going to happen, but I would get rid of Rothschild and put David Cohn in that spot.
Oh man.
Just get rid of Larry Rothschild. Pull Cohn out of the booth and make him the pitching coach. Why wouldn't you? Why? Give me one good reason. What has Larry Rothschild done to deserve this job? I don't think he's good at it.
He's got lots of steps going back and forth.
And I hate his goddamn face so much. Every time I see his face, every time I see him pop out of that dugout, it makes me physically ill.
Okay.
I hate looking at him. And you know what? There is not a pitching coach who I think had more television airtime than him, because his rotation and his relievers there's so many awful moments that the camera just finds its way to him, because they're like, Larry, we're looking at you for answers. What's going on out here? I'm so tired. Like, please put David Cohn in that position. Please. Because as much as I like Cohn in the booth, especially when Coney gets drunk, it's actually really entertaining. But put him in the dugout next to Boone. Let Boone have an actual pitching savant next to him.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Did Larry Rothschild ever actually pitch? I don't even know. Hey. Did he?
All right, that was our
the state of the Yankees.
I wasn't expecting to get into it, but it usually ends up that way. Yeah. We usually make our way that way. So that's where we ended up. But yeah, that's our World Series talk. And once again, just letting you guys know, if you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell, you'll know when we kind of go live a little bit early or a little bit.
Do later. The right thing.
It's definitely an option to do. I mean, you can definitely just go over there and you can go and scroll and hit it, and it'll let you know when we're live. And then also, I wanted to just let you know that we are going only to be doing one part today. Not two parts, one part. So for those that are listening, Clint and whoever's around Clint.
Whoever's around.
Then go ahead and, just don't have to worry about watching two videos today. We're doing one more, and we have about 10 minutes left. So, all right. So let's get into our football. We have some football to talk about today. We got the Bryman's picks, the Shane boys picks. Shane boy.
I don't think that's going to stick.
No, I don't think so. And so Brian had Browns versus Patriots. That's who I gave him. I thought it was might have been a little bit of a trap game, because I think the Browns are going to come out kind of on fire, and the Patriots are going to lose a game. But the spread has gone from 10.5. Now, that's what it was. It was 10.5. The Patriots were giving up 10.5 points. The Browns are getting 10.5 points. Now, the Browns are getting 12 points. But the over-under went down a little bit. So the over-under is 45.5. I, on the other hand, got a very tough game to pick, because I'm very superstitious, and Brian Mann, I think, is picking on that a little bit here. And he picked the Eagles versus Bills. It was the Bills were giving up 1, so the Eagles are getting 1 point. Now they're getting 2 points, with the over/under being 43.5. So those are the 2 picks we got. Who do you got in your game, Brian? And what's the score? I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, listen, the Browns are a mess. They're just not playing well. And the last medicine that you need for a team that is not playing well is to go into the devil's lair, into the lion's den, and try and beat the Patriots on their turf. That is not the elixir you want when you have the kind of ailments that the Browns have. So I just don't see any scenario here under which Baker Mayfield, who's his own little hot mess within the larger hot mess, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, I really don't. I'm not going to give you any X's or O's here because that's just not my style anyway. But I don't like it. Okay, this is not the kind of game that if you're a Browns fan, you want to see this is not where the rebound takes place, right? I mean, okay, great. You had 2 weeks to prepare for the Patriots, and you're still going to get blown out. It's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad. You know what I hate about this Patriot team too is they'll tease you a little bit too. Like they almost kind of like make you believe early on in the game that
you have a chance,
that you have like a little bit of a shot. And then you know what's weird though, like they put points on the board so quietly, and next thing you know, you look up and you're down like a couple scores. Like that's just how they operate. It's so weird. A lot of it is because of their defense puts them in the position for that to happen. And their defense
they're what, like 1 or 2 overall?
Yeah. This is one of their.
The Niners are up there too, and the Bills are up there too.
This is one of the better defenses I think they've ever had.
Yeah. But you can't it's tough to really fully tell because of the schedule that they've played this year. That's the problem. Is that like the Browns, as bad as they've been all year, and as much as they've underperformed, this is probably their toughest matchup besides the Bills. The Bills played them tough because the Bills had a great defense, but they had so many turnovers. Yeah. So and then on a team that's kind of turnover prone with Allen at the quarterback, he tends to throw some picks, tends to move around a lot with the ball. He's gonna probably lose a fumble. So there's an issue there. But the Browns, on the other hand, Odell, Chubb, they have Landry, they have obviously Baker, they have a good offensive team.
Yeah, it's all
and
their
defense is not bad either. So,
and yet here we are. They're still the Browns, kind of. Anyways, I've got this being an ugly score. I actually think the Patriots are gonna come close to doubling them up. Wow. I think it's gonna be 38-20, Pats in a romp. And I don't even think it's gonna be close from the get-go. I really don't. I don't think it's gonna be one of those games where like the Browns magically jump on top of them like 17-0, and then the Patriots in agonizing fashion like work their way back and pull out a win. I think it's gonna be
24-21.
I think it's going to be one of those games. I think this is going to be like a Tiger Woods late 90s, early 2000s performance where they get out and they stay out on top and they just run away.
Okay. All right. I like it. All right. So now we're going to get on to his was a 4 o'clock game. His was a 4 o'clock game. Mine's a 1 o'clock game. I have the Eagles versus the Bills. And what I'm going to say about this is I'm trying to do this without jinxing the Bills too much because I do think as of right now that the Bills are a better team. They have a chance in this
They're certainly
game.
A more consistent team.
They have a chance in this game to throw the ball because the Eagles are so bad in their pass defense. So they have a chance for Josh Allen to actually make it. Now, if he can ever connect on a deep throw, that would be nice. It would also be nice if the Bills would make a freaking move. Like, the Patriots go ahead and get Mohamed Sanu for nothing, for absolutely nothing.
Patriots traded Michael Bennett away for like a 7th rounder or something. Yeah. Which is weird. Like they didn't get much for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was he not playing well? I don't know. But you know what? That will not impact the Patriots negatively in any way. No. That just to, I mean, they could. The only guy that I say that they can't lose is Brady and maybe Edelman. Other than that, everyone else on that team, it's just
I mean, they got rid of Gordon. They're gonna. I don't know.
Well, he's out.
Yeah. Well,
he's on IR.
They're gonna waive him though. They're waiving.
Well, yeah, you
him.
might as well. I mean, what's the point? He's not going to play this year.
Well, yeah, and they might have already waived him. I can't. As soon as he was healthy enough they're just going to get rid of him. And that's a guy.
I'd love to see the Dolphins.
Please put him in. Please put him in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Make him cold so he doesn't want to go outside. Can't get in trouble. Go to Buffalo.
I
Do not go to
having,
Miami. You will get in so much trouble in Miami.
There's a lot of weed available down in Miami.
Do not go to Miami. Don't go
a lot
to
of
LA.
weed. Probably a lot of good weed,
Don't go
too.
to New York. Don't go to you just stay in Buffalo. You know, although it is legal in Canada, so that's a little close. So it's just go to Buffalo, please.
Put him in Middle Earth. He needs to be in like Kansas City or something like that.
Green Bay.
Put him in Green Bay. That's
A-Rod, man.
Imagine him and Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, he had Brady. He also can't stay healthy though, too. That's because
they haven't used him right. They basically were using him as like a pass blocker. They were using him as like a tight end, as a wide receiver. I don't know. I think they just really did. I don't know. I don't think there was something with Belichick. I just think he wanted him to pay his dues.
Do you know who Josh Gordon is going to end up being by the time his career is over? The comp in baseball, but maybe not quite as good, but similar level because of the talent is just Darryl Strawberry. He's Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah. Demons.
That's how. I mean, like, still going to have an impressive career. It's going to look good on paper, but man, oh man, what could have been? Yeah. Because I think you and I both know, especially having seen Strawberry play in New York for most of his career, that guy could have been. He could have been the best.
Even at the end of his career, when he came to the Yankees, he was hitting bombs. Like
he
had such quick bat speed.
He would be down in the Yankees clubhouse smoking a cigarette. He'd get the call to come pinch hit, and he'd come in and hit one out.
Yeah.
I mean, or get a single or something. The guy's talent, the guy's God-given talent, was outrageous, like off the charts. And him and
Doc, both of them. Yeah.
Strawberry even more though.
Yeah.
Like Strawberry more so.
Well, because he was a 6'2" player. Or 5'2" player. I mean 5'2".
Unbelievable. No, he was so good that he had a 6'2". I don't even know what it was. Like that's how special that guy
could play while intoxicated.
Yeah, Mickey Mantle. He was Mickey, but Mickey, Mickey
kept it under control a little bit.
He did and he didn't, but like my brother and I always used to get into that argument because I love Mickey Mantle, and I was always like, Kev, he won 7 championships. And my brother's like, think of how many more he could have won if he wasn't drunk all the time. Like, he won 7. He won 7 championships. He wasn't going to win that many more. One of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. But Strawberry will always, I think, be a disappointment in that sense. And I think Josh Gordon's going to, unfortunately, I think he's going to fall.
It's definitely going in that path.
Because when you look at Josh Gordon, just physically look at him, he's different.
Yeah.
He's a beast. Like, he is built like
he's got that eye test. So the eye test is there.
Right. It passes
your
everything.
Your eyes just like double in size when you see him.
Oh, I know. Like, I just think it's unfortunately between the injuries and the fact that he's not been able to get out of his own way, I think it's going to hurt him in the long run. I think his legacy's going to be iffy.
I mean, there's a lot of options out there. Obviously, AJ Green's still available, and I think that the trade deadline on Tuesday?
Yes, it's that.
So I really hope the Bills make some sort of move.
They have to.
In the next couple days. They need a receiver.
They're a 5-1 team. They're a playoff team.
They need a receiver. Their running back situation is good enough. They need a receiver. I think Knox is coming along as a tight end. I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, the fans like him.
He's a fun guy to watch, and plus he's been good. He's been solid. So I'd be very happy with him being our tight end going forward. And then you have.
I think AJ would be a nice fit there. Yeah, plus, I think here's the only problem though. His price tag's going up because look what Mohamed Sanu got. He got a second rounder for him. Now, granted, a Patriot second rounder is really more like an early third rounder.
Sanu's been healthy though.
Yes, he has. But AJ Green if he's healthy, is a superior player.
Yeah, but he's been hurt a lot over the last couple of years.
I would say the comp is probably still a second rounder for him.
Probably, especially
and a Bills second rounder is obviously better than a Patriot second rounder. So.
Most likely, yeah. All right, so let's and then if you're looking at the Eagles in general, so the Eagles, have been a little bit turnover prone this year. The Bills have been really capitalizing on turnovers. They are just such a great and aggressive defense. But on top of that, also, when I say aggressive, they go after the ball after the receiver catches it. They sometimes will, and they don't jump routes very often and try and like pick balls off, but they will go after the ball as soon as the receiver gets it. They will, be right in the receiver's grill, and they are exceptional at covering the tight end on defense as well. And that's where obviously there is some success there between Wentz and Ertz, but it hasn't been as good this year as it has been in years past. So I'm based on right now where the Eagles are. I think they should be a different team after the trade deadline's done, because I think that they're going to pick up a player or two. It's particular. I mean, Antonio Brown's stuff is almost wrapped up. It should be wrapped up within a week or so, maybe two. And then
there's a guy you could get for nothing.
Right. So you have him, you have Gordon, you have Ajayi who's out there. There's a lot of guys, Melvin Gordon who's available. There's a lot of guys that are out there that are going to change the landscape of the league. And right now, I think that the Eagles are going to get beat by the Bills. I think that the Bills are a better team as of right now. I think that Josh Allen should have a pretty good game against that secondary. So I'm saying that the Eagles do lose to Buffalo. They are in Buffalo, which is also what kind of helps me here. And the Bills don't always play good at home, but I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the numbers here. I'm trying not to pick with my heart, because I am also feel like I'm jinxing the Bills here, and I'm sorry if I'm jinxing the Bills, but I am going to pick the Bills 24-20.
Okay.
So that's that. So I have them covering. I have them going barely over the over-under.
I would pick the Eagles in that game because I just think it's like a must-win. They're in such trouble.
It's absolutely a must-win for them, but they just don't have anybody playing well right now.
It's true.
And they're going to be playing in Buffalo, and I love Wentz though. Love Wentz, and he's not been playing great lately. He's been getting sacked a ton. And that's not something that the Bills are great at, but they will get to the quarterback.
The Eagles are so Jekyll and Hyde, though. I feel like this is the one where, Dr. Jekyll shows up and they play well.
Now we're going to get into the last game, and that is our... Where'd it go? There it is. Can you hear it?
Well, barely. I heard it just enough.
That's good. All right, so we have our game of the week, and that is going to be the Packers versus the Chiefs. What do you got?
This one's in Kansas City.
Yes, it is.
Makes no difference.
The Chiefs are getting 3.5 points as of right now. Mahomes has not been ruled out.
He's not playing.
He's doubtful right now.
He ain't playing. Packers are going to go in there and take care of business. They're a good team, man. Tell you what, man.
Every episode, he comes out.
He just sneaks out. I tell you what, man. No, I don't. Listen, the Chiefs are one of those teams that I think you're going to see a full game of them with a backup quarterback, and you're going to be like, this is not the same team. And they haven't. And listen, they've faltered a little this year, even with Mahomes. They're not the dominant team they were last year. Mm-hmm. So they can still score points. And listen, Matt Moore has enough talent around him there. And he's a serviceable backup quarterback. I should know. I watched him for many years back up Ryan Tannehill, who was often injured. And so I got to see a lot of Matt Moore. Exactly the kind of guy you want as a backup. Just like Ryan Fitzpatrick is exactly the guy. The Dolphins have had a lot of backup quarterbacks, and that's why their franchise is what it is. And same with Ryan Tannehill. But I don't like this matchup. I wouldn't like this matchup. I would hate it if it was in Green Bay, and I don't even like it in Kansas City. If Mahomes is there, maybe my tune changes. Mm-hmm. But the Packers have played better defensively this year. Aaron Rodgers looks to be arguably at his best. I mean, he's been really.
He was just kind of plugging along as the season at the beginning of the season,
but now he's
giving it up. But last week,
oh my God, last week he went bonkers, and that And if you're the Chiefs, it's just sort of similar to like the Browns, right? Like you're a struggling team, and the last thing you want to see is the Patriots. Well, the Chiefs are partially struggling. They have not played great all year, but on top of that, their quarterback's going to be out. The guy who was the MVP of the league. And now you're hosting this 6-1 juggernaut who's coming in. Yeah, it's not, hey, Joe Girardi's in the news again, and it's not what you want. So I don't like this for the Chiefs at all. I got the Packers. I don't want to say pretty. I don't want to say big, but I've got them 27-21. I still think the Chiefs get in the end zone because they've got a lot of talent. But the Packers are going to be better. The Packers are going to be ready. They're going to be 7-1 after this.
Yeah, I have.
And there is hope. There between the Packers and the Saints, there is hope that somebody can beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. There's hope.
The Packers do
It's
have
just a 4-letter word.
Have a comparable quarterback. Yeah, some people might think he's better. I personally do. They have. They
had to make the choice.
They don't really have the. They don't have the receiving core as much as Brady does. Brady has a different, like their system is set up where now they have Sanu and Edelman and Dorsett and and they're
as if they needed any more help,
right? And but they have similar backs, running backs.
Gronk will be back in a month, so
possibly, yeah. There's a chance. You never know. I mean, he signed a deal for radio. I mean, for TV stuff.
Maybe,
but
what? Yeah, maybe he will. So I don't know. He might really be comfortable with. I think he's enjoying life.
He should. I mean, Gronk does love life to the fullest. So
I feel like he's having a lot of sex right now.
I think he's like engaged.
Oh, well, he's still probably having a lot of sex. Either way, I don't know. Whatever.
He's a big goofball.
He really is.
All right, so
Beatball.
Anyway, I think that this game is also going to be because even if Patrick Mahomes comes back, he's not 100% healthy.
No,
They'll
not.
put more points up on the board, but I think that Aaron Rodgers will and his defense will be able to keep up, if not surpass.
He has no mobility right now, given that injury, though. So I just wouldn't play him.
Yeah,
just don't
I think
play
he
him.
should stay out a week. Yeah, exactly. And I'm kind of my score is going to be out there just in case Mahomes plays, because this is if Mahomes plays.
Okay.
Which means I think they're going to lose either way because I have the Packers winning 28-24. And
so we're
not far off, no. But it's very close. I have it a little bit closer because I do think Mahomes plays, but I don't think he can keep up with the defense, being as good as they are, the Packers defense, and then Aaron Rodgers just being Aaron Rodgers and being healthy. So
I wouldn't play him this game.
I really wouldn't.
No.
I mean, but they kind of. I mean,
it's kind of a game you're going to probably lose anyway.
Especially, and you don't want to ruin.
And
your
you don't,
season.
right? You could wreck your season if you play him. He takes another hit. I mean, this is a solid defense they're playing against. I just wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
Pick your battles, man. Pick your battles.
All right, so that's where we have you have the Patriots over the Browns, I have the Bills over the Eagles, and you both have Packers over Chiefs. In World Series, we got Anibal Sanchez going against Zach Greinke. Who do you got?
I still think. Listen, as crazy as it may sound, I'm sticking by my pick. I still think the Astros are going to win. Obviously, I picked them to win in 5. That's no longer happening. I actually think they might pull off a Yankee thing here and maybe win 4 straight. I'm still picking with them, so I'm going to go Astros tonight. They have to. It's a must-win game. They have to win. If they don't win, it's over.
And
it's
I
over.
think they're set up for success tonight. I think the Astros are going to win too. Yeah. I think that they're going to come in and Anibal Sanchez, and he's been good. I don't know where he's reaching for this stuff.
Yeah, but
if he's on a little bit of the juice or whatever,
probably.
But he's kind of taking a step up. But I think that the next game is where that's the real swing game. This is where the Astros can they have to win tonight, but the real swing game is if they win game 4. Yeah. Now, game 4, that could be a tough one. Obviously you could have Corbin go. You could just go right back to Scherzer. You have the opportunity to do whatever you want. So we'll see how it goes.
I would go Scherzer to try and put the foot on the throat. So.
Yep. All right. So that's pretty much it for that.
Are we doing a very quick Funko Friday?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead and go do your Funko Friday. I'll be right
Okay, well, this is our last show before Halloween. So I would be very remiss if on this Funko Friday, the last show before All Hallows Eve, if I did not put in front of you the Michael Myers Funko Pop for Funko Friday. The greatest horror movie character of all time. The one and only Michael Myers for this edition of Funko Friday. How could it not be?
That's good. I like
How
that.
could it not be?
That's a good one.
Yeah. The GOAT of all killers. Quiet, calculated, obscenely strong, totally ruthless. Kills you with a classic butcher's knife. Big one too. Yeah. This is the man right here. Oh, he'll get you. He'll get you. Yeah. No sounds. Does it not even like a little Jason Voorhees, like a little ch-ch-ch? No, nothing. He just comes up and gets you right from behind. Okay, anyways, that's my Funko Friday. Michael Myers.
Something that I like to watch on a regular basis whenever they come out is the pitch meetings, and they did one for Freddy Krueger's Nightmare on Elm Street. That one is a good one too. If you haven't watched it yet, Brian, I'll have to send it over to you and see what you think.
Okay.
It's okay. That one's okay, but I still love him. I think that he does such a good job on those. His name's Ryan George, and he works for Screen Rant, and he does those the skits. He also does some stuff that's really funny. He's got his own YouTube channel, and it's very funny. I highly recommend it. I could see how some people wouldn't think it's funny, but I really dig it. And there's also this other thing that I just stumbled across. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard this guy do he's a comedian. He reaches out to the audience. He gets like 5 or 6 different topics, mm-hmm. and then he just does a freestyle rap on it.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever heard it?
No.
It is amazing. I will send it to you right after this. And then because he is so incredibly talented. I can't do it. Yeah. I'll let that be the way out. You can play that music over there. I should give you a jack so you can put it in. Hook it up. Mine's always in a gutter.
Speaking of which, the Blunder Taker will be making an appearance tonight at the Lebanon Middle School Haunted Trail.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to be jumping out and scaring kids.
So we will try and get you a show before Halloween, and we will try and, because obviously it's not going to be Monday. I'm playing in a golf tournament on Monday with
maybe we'll do a show on Halloween morning. How about that? That'd be fun.
Was that Thursday morning?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I can make that happen.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I could probably make that happen too, but we'll be in touch and we'll figure it out. All right. So thank you guys for watching, listening, however you took this in, and be sure to click that subscribe button, notification bell, let you know whenever we go live early or late. And today is very early. So anything you want to say?
No. Part of the journey is the end.
I love you 3000.
I love you 3000. Stay classy, Planet Globe.
Yes, and you can find us on Twitter at Shane and Bryman. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman. You can find me on Twitter at @IKnowHornetsFinkle.
You can find me on Twitter at _Bry_man.
And we will see you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just subscribe, hit the notification bell.
That is correct.
Bye.